Strap in, gorehounds. It's time for High on Horror, where the blood runs thick and the screams never stop. I'm Drew, and tonight we're knee-deep in carnage.
And I'm John. This episode and every future episode is dedicated to all the horror hounds and stoners out there who want to expand their knowledge of the genre and have a good time.
This week, we're descending into Night of the Reaper, the latest chilling vision from director Brandon Christensen, the twisted mind behind Z, Superhost, and Stillborn. It's a brutal, emotionally charged descent into fear and grief, where the line between life and death blurs in the flicker of a candle flame. And who better to guide us through the darkness than the filmmaker himself? So grab your flashlight and steel your nerves, because tonight, we're not just reviewing Night of the Reaper, we're talking directly to Brandon Christensen about bringing this nightmare to life. All that and more today on High on Horror. Interviews, reviews, and the latest news all rolled into one.
Alright, spooky stoners, welcome to Strainwreck, the only place where loud doesn't just refer to the screen.
Yeah, it's like a slasher movie, but everyone's too high to care who dies first.
Yeah, so the strain we're smoking today is Mango Kush, and while Drew gets us into some current events here, we'll talk about later about why that pairs with our movie.
Yeah, can't wait. All right, so starting off here, a big shout out to Bloody Disgusting for sharing this one. They are a big news source of ours, and everybody in horror love Bloody Disgusting. Turns out that A24's horror comedy Death of a Unicorn had a major behind-the-scenes switch-up. I did not know this until today. The movie, which hit theaters earlier this year, featured a score by Dan Romer and Jose Greco, but according to New LA Times interview, that was not the original plan. Originally, Death of a Unicorn was scored by John Carpenter, along with Cody Carpenter and Daniel Davies, a dream team for horror fans, and A24 ultimately scrapped their completed score, though Carpenter now owns the rights and plans to release the music soon on his own. It's a bit of a bummer since Carpenter's involvement, was one of the most exciting parts of the film's announcement. Still, I didn't know that, but apparently, that was a big thing when the movie came out. I didn't follow the film to know that he was even attached to it until today. But it's still good news that his version won't stay buried for long. And did you watch Death of a Unicorn yet?
No, I mean, it did look good. Was there any specific reason why?
I don't know. They just decided.
Maybe you can't talk about it or something.
Yeah, maybe it was just the way the tone. Maybe it was a tone or something to the movie. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, for those of you who are interested, Death of a Unicorn was written and directed by Alex Sharfman and produced by Ari Aster. And it follows a father-daughter played by Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. It's a good cast. Who accidentally kill a unicorn, only to have his billionaire boss try to profit off its magical remains. The film did not make much noise at the box office, but it found a new life on streaming and is now available to stream on Max.
I saw some trailers when I went to the movies a couple times. I thought it looked decent. I didn't even know it was out yet.
No, it was on Max, and I watched it when it first came on. But honestly, I just thought the title sounded ridiculous, and I knew nothing about it. So I just said to my wife, "I'm like, hey, let's just put this on as our movie." It's got Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. And it's kind of like looks like a comedy, and it wasn't a bad movie. I thought it was pretty good actually, but I'm like gonna do some like Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd shit here and rewatch the movie, but with Carpenter's score playing and see exactly what the difference was. But I just have a hard time thinking anything. I'm biased. I have a hard time thinking Carpenter's wouldn't have been the better score.
Oh, obviously.
But okay, so anyway, moving on here to all the Terrifier fans out there. Big thanks to Bloody Disgusting again for highlighting this update. Art the Clown himself, David Howard Thornton, just shared some fresh insight on Terrifier 4, which is still being written by franchise creator Damien Leone. Thornton told Slasher Radio that Leone's keeping things extra secret this time around. In the past, the cast, including Lauren Lavera and Samantha Scafidi, were looped in during the writing process, but now Damien's playing it close to the chest, and all he's told them that Art's origin story is coming and that the finale is, quote, batshit insane, end quote. And Thornton also hinted that Terrifier 4 could serve as the ending of the current story arc, though Leone might revisit the series later, meaning this will definitely tie up the Sienna storyline and that maybe Art will disappear and they'll stop making Terrifier movies and several years later he'll come back up, Art will pop back up with a new reason to stalk somebody new. That'd be cool, It's old school Michael Myers shit. But Leone himself has described the upcoming film as, quote, the most epic, horrifying, thrilling, emotional, and satisfying conclusion to the Terrifier saga, end quote, confirming that Art's backstory will be revealed within the first 15 minutes. And while we wait for more blood-soaked chaos, Art the Clown just dropped into Fortnite And Terrifier,
Wait.
the arcade game, hits November 21st. I can't wait to play that. And didn't you say that you played like the demo for that? I did not play the demo for it.
Yeah. There's a demo for it. It's still available if anybody wants to download it. There was a Scott Pilgrim, the arcade game. I think it was a couple years after the movie. I don't remember exactly when, but basically, I think it's the same company. But it's basically like how they took Arkham Asylum and reskinned it with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's basically it looks like the art style is the same as like the Scott Pilgrim game.
Yeah, I didn't play the demo yet, but
the Scott Pilgrim game is a lot of fun. So.
But I love those arcade games. I did see gameplay for it in like the trailer and somebody else like showing it on YouTube. But it looks cool. But yeah, I haven't played it yet. I do have the game on order though on Amazon. But moving on here, David Howard Thornton is staying busy. For those of you who don't know, with The Dead Place, The Autopsy of Albert Kemper, Screamboat 2, which just got announced, and Stream 2. The Terrifier franchise has come a long way since 2016. And Terrifier 2 blew up in 2022. We all, were alive and remember that happening. It was amazing. And Terrifier 3 opened at number 1 last October, becoming the highest grossing unrated film of all time.
Yeah. So, let's bring on 4. It'd be nice maybe if they do take a little break. I mean, the quality hasn't dipped, but they are coming out at a frantic pace.
Yeah, they're keeping them steady.
But,
they're keeping them steady.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And I wanted to bring up something that's not really a current event. Well, I guess it kind of is. It's I don't know if you've seen. Apparently, Gen Z has discovered a horror movie, and
not sure.
It's went viral this year.
Okay.
They're posting stuff telling people, man, this movie's creepy as hell. You need to check it out. Like, this is a really good movie. And somebody else was like, yeah, Gen X and millennials saw this and went, yeah, we know. Prince of Darkness is apparently Gen Z has just discovered Prince of Darkness, and they're like, man, this movie's so creepy. Like,
yep, that's awesome. No, I did see something
Carpenter,
about that.
because you brought him up. Carpenter's still finding his way to another generation.
Good, as he should. And I did want to say one more thing about Terrifier was that there was a rumor that Terrifier would be 5 movies, meaning that this 4th film might be broken into 2 parts. So it's all up in the air. Damien's not saying too much yet, but that was something that was said. So it is possible that there will be 5 movies, but it will be
it's gonna be
be continued.
Twilight and Harry Potter. A 2-part finale.
I'd prefer to more go for like the Matrix Reloaded and Matrix. What was the 3rd one? Oh my God,
Revolutions.
Revelations. Yeah, terrible. But anyway.
Yes. Anyway, so yeah, Mango Kush is an indica dominant hybrid. Typically ranges from 16 to 20%, providing a mellow yet potent high. That's according to Dank Buds. And the scent, according to all buds, is sweet and fluffy, reminiscent of ripe mangoes and bananas with subtle earthy undertones.
Damn.
See, I feel like, man, it's like those people that are wine connoisseurs. I'm just like, what is your palate that you can like pull all this out? And I'm just like,
past the vape, man.
I'm like, oh, yeah, that tastes good. Which, speaking of taste, tropical and smooth, delivering a cushy, piney finish that lingers pleasantly. And the effects are fermental, euphoric, and uplifting, promoting a happy and sociable mood. Physical provides deep relaxation and mild sedation, ideal for unwinding after a long day. And Mango Kush's tropical aroma and relaxing effects make it a perfect companion for Night of the Reaper. Its euphoric and mellow highs enhance the film's nostalgia, the 80s slasher vibes, allowing you to enjoy the suspense and the twist without feeling overwhelmed. It's ideal for a late night watch when you want to feel both cozy and on edge at the same time.
That works for me. Yeah, all right. Well, so spark up and summon the spirits. It's time for Puff Puff Ask.
Yo, man. Puff Puff Pass.
Welcome to Puff Puff Ask, our fan mail seance where we spark up, dig into the inbox of the damned, and summon your questions from beyond. You bring the curiosity, we bring the smoke. I'm going to start here with Creeping on the Green sent us one. If you had to spend a high night, I like that, a high night, watching a horror movie with its villain, who are you lighting up with, and do you think you'd survive the session? John took it last week with, Heather Langenkamp's husband in New Nightmare. This week, going 100% with this answer, I'm going with Tiffany, the human version from Bride of Chucky, and I'm pretty sure I'd survive. The real question is, would she survive?
Dude, it's funny because there's a YouTube or a TikTok channel I watch, and this guy's whole channel is he's done like first ladies of countries, leaders, like WNBA players, and he just goes through and says smash or pass, and he did horror characters. I was laughing. He shows the doll of Tiffany, and he's like pass, unless we're talking about human form, Jennifer Tilly. I'll have to show you the video. Shit had me dying. Damn, but what villain would I want to watch with? I feel like I'm going to...
Would you survive?
And would I survive? No, I already know I'm not surviving a horror movie. I've already come to the conclusion. No matter even if it's a horror comedy, I'm dying.
No. Would you survive with its character? You're just watching the movie. Like, say you're watching Terrifier with Art the Clown, or you have to watch a movie with its character. So you could survive like a one-on-one. You know, you're not stuck in the movie.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Is like I just know, like if I'm in a scenario, I'm not coming out alive probably. Man, who would I pick? I mean, if I'm gonna die, like maybe like you smoke with the Shape. That'd be interesting. Maybe you just chill out for a little bit.
See, I don't feel like Michael Myers would let you even watch the movie. He'd just kill you before the shit started.
Like, come on, Mike.
Like, dude, we're supposed to watch the movie together or try to, bro.
Maybe you know what? Maybe if it's Halloween 5, Michael Myers, where he cries and he gets real emotional, you just be like, so when she's like, Uncle, be like, Mike, and just like hold out like a ball, like you just like hold out the blood to him and be like, all right, maybe I'll hit it for a second. Be like, you know what? Maybe I will calm down.
See, now you're crying from coughing. It's different kinds of tears, buddy. Cry those instead.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So what's your answer, though?
Fuck it. I'm just going to go with Michael. I'm going to die anyway.
Oh, my God. Okay.
But
Chucky,
like, if he has to smoke
Chucky would hit the ball with you. Chucky would fuck with you for a little bit before he killed you.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like he just be talking.
You could distract him while I was with Tiffany.
oh, shit. You know what? I just thought about this. Just popped in my head. Leprechaun.
Oh,
as long as I ain't touching his gold.
Yeah.
But see, I'd be like fucking around, like joking with him, be like, and then that would count for him, and then I'd die.
I would just be trying to get one. I'd be like, look, bro, I'm not going to fuck with your gold, but like, you can have whatever snacks you want. You know, you can smoke some of my weed. Like, let me get a wish out of you. like do
Dude,
something
he would
for
smoke
me.
weed with you, just like, don't touch the man's gold. I'd be like, and if I saw somebody, I'm stitching. I'd be like, yeah, it was that guy over there.
I'll give you an ounce for that, for one of those gold coins.
But but then he'd probably just kill you and take it back.
Yeah, it's not worth it. But what about Pumpkinhead?
Why are we watching with Pumpkin? Yeah, you imagine like Predator though. I'll just now I'm just imagine smoking a weed with different horror characters. But you imagine like Predator with the mask on, he could just like hotbox it in there. It'd be like his own gas mask. You just hear the clicking.
Dude. You ask him if he wants to smoke and he fucking does and lifts the mask up and just smoke comes out. He's like, I've been getting high the whole time, motherfucker.
I would say like the xenomorph, but they just kill you. It's kind of like the
Predator,
same thing.
Like, he's got that little like heat laser. He'd be like heating the fucking blood up, lighting the blood.
I'm just making sound effects for no reason.
That man Kush got me, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on here. Weed and Witchcraft said, what's one horror movie death scene that still makes you look away no matter how many times you've seen it? Oh, man, I don't even know.
I like that question, though.
I don't know if it's a death, but I can think of a scene that I just like makes me feel really depressed. Is the original Saw when you realize the key went down the drain. I was just like, man, just like knowing. I mean, I guess it was his death scene because he does.
That was ultimately his demise.
We don't see him alive the next time, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was to me was like worse. I'd just rather be killed than have to just sit there and wait and wait and wait. So I guess maybe that is one that bothers me.
Yeah, I can't think of any deaths off the top of my head, but I can think of a scene. The first thing that came to my mind with this question was the pencil to ankle scene in The Evil Dead. that's something that still makes me look away. It's still brutal to watch. And I believe I told you this, but they did a comic book series. It was a 4-issue comic book of just like the retelling of the first Evil Dead through comic book form. And they actually featured my letter in like the 3rd issue of the comic in the back.
I
And it
do
was like, I
remember that.
mentioned, because I asked what scared you about the movie. And I was like, that fucking pencil scene. Like when I saw that as a kid, I would literally run to my bedroom and jump on my bed. Like in case Cheryl was under there with a pencil. Like it was that movie, that scene fucked me up. So that still makes me want to look away.
See, you also talk about ankle scenes. The other one was Child's Play. Child's Play 3, where he just gets him on the ankle when he's sitting on the bed. That one fuck with me. But
Gage in Pet Cemetery has a good ankle scene.
oh, yeah, that might be the worst.
Yeah, that shit goes deep.
But it's funny because we're movies this month. I was watching Evil Dead, and the ankle scene came up with the pencil, and I was still like, damn, that still holds up as effective.
It does. It's still brutal. All right, well, ashes burn, shadows move, and the past starts whispering again. Let's get into horror history.
This week in horror history.
Welcome to Horror History, the shadowy corner where we unearth the birthdays and chilling anniversaries of the films and monsters that shaped the nightmares that we can't forget. And starting off November 5th, for birthdays, we have Robert Patrick turning 67. Probably most known for Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. And I told you I was rewatching The Sopranos. Dude, his character in The Sopranos is just like a complete 180.
Right.
The
right.
T-1000, he just like gives in. He has a mental breakdown. He just can't handle anything.
He's got a good range. He is. He's underrated.
And born in 1965, Famke Janssen, House on Haunted Hill from 1999. 60 years ago. And for films, the Mask of the Fu Manchu turns 93 years old. You a big fan of that, Drew? From
No,
1932?
never seen it. Can't say I've seen it.
And Bone Collector turned 26, came out in 1999.
That's your porn title.
I mean, that's a good porn title. It's definitely starring Gianna Michaels. I know
You got me.
I knew I get you. Anyway, moving on to November 6th. Oh, there it is. I already hit a anyway. So anyway, Emma Stone turns 37, born in 1988. She's really kind of turned to some like strange art house horror lately.
I know. I'm liking it. Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke turns 55, born in 1970. Black Phone, Sinister. Black Phone 2, have not seen it yet.
No, not yet.
I'm not,
The Purge.
oh yeah,
You know,
the first Purge.
Yeah.
I was, spoiler alert if you haven't seen The Purge, I was shocked as hell when he died.
Yeah, same. If you haven't seen the first Purge, that's sorry for that spoiler, but not sorry.
Yeah, it's been a while.
There's like 8 movies now. Let's talk about a series you gave up on.
Yeah.
I like the first one though. Anyway.
I saw all but I think the most recent one. Nicole and I, is one of those ones, I've already seen all the other ones, might as well watch the next one.
Yep.
Even though, like, we both went in every time with lower expectations.
Still
and we
fuck it,
even,
let's
like,
do
told
it.
each other, like, we're just here because we've already seen 3 of these.
Yep. Might as well.
Yeah, anyway, before we just start getting bogged down talking about a bunch of other stuff. Lance Kerwin, Salem's Lot, born 65 years ago. Sarah York, born in 1953, 72 years ago. And our last one here today would have been 126 years old today. Francis Lederer, born in 1899. And film The Prowler turns 44, born in 1981. Born in 1981.
All right. That made good kush.
Man, who birthed it though? Like, who is it? The director, the writer? Who was the mother?
Well, I mean, Tom Savini did the makeup effects.
Okay,
and,
we'll give it to Tom. It's his baby.
Yeah, it could be Tom.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that's what we just did. So yeah, The Prowler came out 44 years ago.
One of the greatest slashers ever.
Yeah,
Seriously, one of the absolute greatest slashers ever. Like, it doesn't get enough love. I guess because the Prowler his appearance isn't iconic looking, but Jesus Christ, dude, literally, like, one of the greatest horror movies ever. And it's directed by Joseph Zito, the dude that did the best Friday the 13th movie, The Final Chapter. So, I mean, it's a fucking winner.
So, not a big fan.
Love that movie.
No, for real, that's like one of those movies that like, somebody knows a little bit about horror. It's not something that, like maybe like surface level slasher fan. It's not a deep cut, but it's one that you're like, okay, you are definitely a slasher fan. But yeah,
if you're correct, that's one of those ones that if you've seen that, you're okay. So you're a step above the common person who watches horror movies.
Common.
I don't, you know what I mean? I don't mean to sound
people.
like that. No, but the people that watch more than just Chucky and shit. But real quick, again, don't want to pull up too much banter here and interrupt this segment, but I remember I used to have this segment where me and my buddy Andrew, we would trade off movies every week when I like visited him to do his karaoke gig. We'd do karaoke together and drank, and my wife Sam and his wife Leah, they became friends, and it was like this whole thing, and we would trade off movies every week and borrow movies that we hadn't seen from each other and watch them. And I let him borrow The Prowler. And his wife came up to me the next week at karaoke, and Leah was like, oh my God. She's like, the pole scene where he slit her throat. She's like, I started looking the movie up. She's like, that shit looked real. I thought somebody really died in that scene. And I was like, yeah, baby, that was 1981 too. That was 10 Tom Savini at his fucking finest. Anyway.
And speaking of classics, turning 34, Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, the toy maker from 1991.
Oh, yeah,
Is that such your favorite in the series?
Such a classic. Not.
Moving on here, November 7th, birthdays 1972, Jason London, Rage Carrie 2. Yeah, that's not a good one though. But unfortunately,
No.
what do you think is the better movie, the Carrie remake or the Rage Carrie 2?
I'd rather watch The Rage.
She
still looked more like someone would get bullied than Chloe Grace.
I want them to look like they would get bullied.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if 1972 turns 53. I don't remember if I said that. Dean Jagger would have turned 122 years today.
Damn.
And film releases 55 years ago. The Phantom Toll Booth from 1970. Toll Booth. And The Boogeyman, 1980, turned 45. Moving on to November 8th, Azora Sky turns 44. Tara Reid turns 50. Parker Posey turns 57. And Bram Stoker would have been 178 years old today. Oof. And films released today, released on this date 1 year ago, Heretic.
Nice.
I love that movie.
Good movie.
That was probably it was definitely in my top 3 favorites.
For sure.
I don't know if it was necessarily my favorite movie of the year, but it was definitely top 3, top 5 at worst.
Agreed.
Dr. Sleep came out 6 years ago in 2019. The Horror of Frankenstein and Scars of Dracula both came out 55 years ago today in 1970. Moving on to November 9th, Lou Ferrigno turned 73, born in 1952. Severin Darden would have been 96 years old today. And films released, Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory.
That'd be you.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Turns 64.
Starring Gianna Michaels.
And then after that, it picks up. This was November 9th is a good it's a good day. Both released 41 years ago today. The original Silent Night, Deadly Night, and The Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Released 37 years ago in 1988, Child's Play. And then 35 years ago in 1990, Child's Play 2. So November 9th, pretty good day.
That is a good day, yeah. Good movies coming out in November.
November 10th, for birthdays, we have Brittany Murphy. She would have been 48. Tracy Morgan, 57 years. I included him because he hosted Scare Tactics. And
that works.
I love Tracy Morgan.
He's funny. He's funny as shit.
Claire Higgins, born 1955, 70 years ago. Also 70 years ago, Ronald Emmerich. Were you an Independence Day fan?
I was. I didn't like The Day After Tomorrow, though. But I liked Independence Day.
Did you like the Independence Day sequel?
No.
I did. No. I didn't hate it as much as some people hated it. Some people were like, it was too cheesy. I'm like, have you seen? Do you remember the original? That shit was cheesy, but that's why it worked.
That's why it worked. It was that 90s summer blockbuster movie.
And moving on here, Deborah Hill, born 1950, would have been 75 today. Roy Schneider, born 1932, would have been 93, and if Claude Rains was still alive, he'd be 126, born in 1899.
All a bunch of legends.
Yeah. Films released: The Cat Creeps turns 95 from 1930. I had never heard of this one, but I had to include it. Henry Aldrich Haunts a House, 1943, turns 82. I don't do.
Sounds pretty cool.
Maybe showing my ignorance here. Do you know who Henry Aldrich is?
No.
Yeah, so I had no idea. I was like, I'm going to include it. Night of the Living Dead 3D turns 19 years old.
Nothing like the one we reviewed last week.
I thought they were on the same level pretty much.
Yeah.
And then finally moving on to November 11th. He doesn't want to talk to you if you're over 24. Leonardo DiCaprio turns 51. Born 1974. Demi Moore turned 63. Born in 1962. Stanley Tucci, born 1960, 65 years ago. Bill Moseley, born 1951, 74 years ago. And Patrick Knowles would have been 114 years. And films released: The Return of the Vampire, 1943, 82 years ago. And Interview with the Vampire, 1994,
Good shit.
turns 31 years old. I have not seen Interview with the Vampire
Such a good movie.
since it was on like pay-per-view. I don't think.
Damn.
I know it's good, but it's just one of those movies and I'm like, man, I know if I watch this, I got to commit to it.
Yeah, it's good though, dude. It's fucking good.
Yeah, and it's one of those movies you do need to like pay attention to if I remember correctly, but it's
Yeah, and it's also weird because again, like kind of like the way Salem's Lot was, that's how Anne Rice was with Interview with the Vampire. I liked the movie so much that years later I read the book, and in the book they were much more classic style vampires. Like Lestat did not have like, he didn't look like he did in the movie. He was like, he had like a cloak, dressed more like Dracula, and so I was like, it's interesting how that changed. But I actually liked the look of the vampires, the Victorian era, looking Gothic style type of like outfits that they wore. I really dig both the book and the movie, but the movie was something else.
yeah. My sister had read the books and she like said she said she liked the first couple books and she said after that they were just kind of okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard everybody says the books are incredible, but they're pretty. I remember the paperback when my sister had them were like pretty thick too.
I had a paperback. That's what I had. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
they
still
were
have it.
like 500 pages or
Yeah,
something
they were
like
big.
that.
Yeah, and then there was like the Vampire Armand, and there was all these the Vampire Lestat, and she did all the
Yeah, I
individual
remember her
books.
having
I didn't really,
that book,
I didn't
the
really,
Vampire Lestat.
yeah, I didn't really dig any of those. I didn't really follow them, but I did like Interview with the Vampire.
I remember she really liked that book. She said it obviously gave more like backstory on Lestat and why he is.
Yeah,
But I remember Anne Rice took out a whole page ad to like apologize to Tom Cruise because she didn't want him in the movie.
oh shit,
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know she took the ad out.
Yeah, but like she like apologized to him.
Yeah,
'cause she said she was wrong.
I didn't
I'll give
know
her
about
credit for that.
The ad though, that was pretty funny. I did not know that part.
Yeah, vampire movies will wrap up the week.
All right, so the grave is quiet for now, but the nightmare roars on. Welcome to the chilling world of Night of the Reaper.
Night of the Reaper is a 2025 horror film co-written by today's guest Brandon Christensen and Ryan Christensen and directed by Brandon. It's set in a small American town in the early 80s. It follows college student Dina Golding, played by Jessica Clement, who comes home for the weekend. When a babysitter is killed, she ends up looking after Sheriff Rodney Arnold, played by Ryan Robbins' kid, Max, played by Max Christensen, and things quickly go sideways pretty damn quick. At the same time Dina's dealing with all that shit, Sheriff Arnold finds a series of creepy VHS tapes that suggest the murder is just the start of something bigger. The movie flips between the two fighting to survive and one trying to solve the mystery.
So I'll go first here, and yeah, I absolutely adore Night of the Reaper. I was watching it with Sam, my wife, and the movie.
My wife.
And the movie, what movie has her full attention when she pauses it if she has to use the bathroom, and she actually paused this one. For context, when a film isn't resonating with her, she'll just let it run and come back
Same.
later, oblivious. So yes, this one had her fully invested. And from a technical standpoint, The film's mise en scène is impeccable. The setting evokes deliciously nostalgic Halloween ambience. The score complements the tension beautifully. Jessica Clement delivers a powerhouse performance as Dina, anchoring the narrative with charisma and grit. You know, initially I assumed I was in for a fairly straightforward slasher, competent, enjoyable, but formulaic. And for a moment, it seemed like the film would tread a familiar A to Z path of the genre, you know? But then Brandon Christensen does what he does best. He subverts expectations, and the tension escalates, the stakes heighten, and suddenly you're on a roller coaster of suspense, gripping your couch armrests and second-guessing every shadow. While Night of the Reaper doesn't reinvent the slasher wheel, it's a masterfully crafted genre piece, equal parts tricks and treats worthy of repeat viewings. It deserves a spot in everyone's Halloween list for years to come, and let's be honest, the killer's costume is absolutely badass.
Oh, yeah.
And knowledge nug here, the mask was repurposed from the props department and customized with paint, while the cloak was meticulously crafted by the costume. Team proof. The practical effects still reign supreme in horror, you know, and all told, I give this one an 8.5 out of 10. It's a taut, thrilling, and delightfully scary ride that proves Christensen is a director to watch, undoubtedly. I cannot wait for his next one. This guy is really fucking consistent, man.
Yeah, and another thing we kind of touch on it in the interview is he does respond to people on Reddit that had like questions about the movie, and like
He's very active, yeah.
and I mean, he gave solid reasons as to what people were missing and stuff. So some people watch it and have questions, just find those Reddit threads.
Yeah, he's active, but he's not James Gunn. He's not. He's better about it.
Yeah, so I love the 80s throwback, the Halloween setting, the absolute, to steal a word from earlier, batshit crazy characters.
Yeah.
Brandon gives us, just like he does in his previous films. It's a fresh take on the slasher genre, which I really appreciate. The aesthetics and tension build up, and they're spot on. And there's some heavy themes that add real depth to the atmosphere. Honestly, there's much more I want to say, but you really can't. You really just need to go and see it yourself on Shudder. Halloween may be over on the calendar, but it doesn't have to be in your little black heart. So I'm giving this movie a 7.8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it.
Well, from haunted memories to nightmares that won't let go, he's seen it all and brought it terrifyingly to life. Now it's our turn to dig deep. Join us as we talk with Brandon Christensen, the mind behind Night of the Reaper. He's no stranger to our show. We've had him on to talk about his films Superhost and Puppet Man, episodes 16 and 55. If you haven't seen those movies, we recommend you do so ASAP. His movies are just so good, we keep bringing him back on. Brandon Christensen, welcome to High on Horror again, bud.
Come on, guys.
Hey, yeah, so actually you're the first member of our 3 club. We've had several people on twice, but you're the first one to be on 3 times.
Do I get like a gift basket or something?
Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, well, High on Horror gift baskets are in the works. I don't think they'd be appropriate for children, though.
That's cool. They're fine with me.
Well, I heard that you do a 31 Days of Horror movie list every Halloween. And we do that too, like John and I did that without each other even knowing it. I think it's just something horror fans do. Like, I don't know, but we've been friends like 16, 17 years, and I just found out that he did it like a few years ago, and we're like, what? And I wanted to ask you, like what newer movies this year, horror movies, are making it onto your list, and how does it feel that your movie, is now going to be on people's lists for years to come?
Yeah, I mean, for the second part, I think it's awesome. That's kind of the goal every time you make a movie, because you see, my movies tend to come out in late September, early September. So like it's, transitions into October when all these people are doing these lists, and you're just like hoping that you're on it. And I think that this is the first time that I'm going to be on, more than normal, just because it is such a vibey fall movie. I think with mine, like Puppet Man and Superhost and the other ones that I've done, they generally, they'll make it on some, but I really feel strongly like this one might do it just because it's a Halloween movie, and I'm hoping that it has some staying power with that. But for myself, like I don't necessarily do 31 films in October. I try to do as many as I can. Like I started yesterday with Trick or Treat, which is kind of the annual. But yeah, I use it kind of like as a time when I can catch up on the movies that I haven't been able to watch yet. So this year I haven't seen Final Destination. I haven't seen Bring Her Back. I haven't seen, I did see Weapons. I haven't seen Sinners. So a lot of those ones I want to check out and just sort of get caught up on. But it's definitely like the window where I'm like, okay, it's October, the vibes are right. Let's turn on something that I've missed and I'll catch up so that I can, still remain part of the zeitgeist in a way. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fun. It's like last year I was doing all the Friday the 13th, and I got halfway through the Nightmare on Elm Streets at the end of the month, and I was just like, all right, I'll pick up the rest next year. And so I've got to finish those now too.
Yeah, and, yeah, I kind of did that one year. I did the Halloween. I did Halloween series. I did a bunch of the Friday the 13th. Like my theme for that year was just franchises. Now I did Saw, and I had seen them all individually and thought they were okay. But man, I feel like watching those after you get past like 3 or 4, it almost felt like a chore to kind of finish those.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool when you can do a franchise, just because it's just so built in. You're just like, okay, today I'm going to watch 1, tomorrow I'll watch 2 or whatever. And you have it easy to go through. You don't have to put too much thought into it. So that was what was nice about Friday the 13th. Like I hadn't seen it since I was a kid. So it was, some of those ones like Jason Takes Manhattan, I remembered it way differently than what it actually was. And I was like, oh shit, this is a boat movie more than anything.
Well, yeah, and just to add to that, I just wanted to say that Bring Her Back should definitely be on your list, absolutely, and Sinners as well, but more so Bring Her Back. And you stated that When a Stranger Calls, you said that When a Stranger Calls left its mark on you, and that influenced Night of the Reaper. I wanted to ask you, film buff to film buff, have you ever seen a film called from 1972 called Fright? It predates Halloween, and it's a babysitter stalker film.
Oh wow, no, I haven't. Is it good?
Yeah, you should check it out. It's shit off the top of my head. I can't remember who it is that directs it. I had a note written somewhere, but it's definitely worth it. And it's on Tubi too, so you can catch it for free. But yeah, it's a lot of people don't know that there's a serial killer slasher babysitter movie that predated Halloween, and I didn't know if that or had gone in hand with When a Stranger Calls or not, or if maybe you'd heard about it when you were affected by When a Stranger Calls. But if not, I wanted to make sure I brought that up to you as something you should definitely check out.
No, that's awesome. I just pulled it up. It's it's like a British movie. That's cool. Short. It's 1971. That's wild. Yeah, I've never heard of it. I will definitely add it to my list this year. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and so what made you want to make Night of the Reaper take place on Halloween?
There's a few reasons. Some of them are like good reasons, and some of them are bad, or just like not good reasons. For one, aesthetically, like if you're doing the 80s, you have to do fall. Like you just have to. I mean, you're doing a slasher movie, sort of. It has to be fall. Like when I think of the 80s, I don't think of winter or I don't think of summer. I think of fall. I think of yellow trees. I think of just like low hanging sun. I just think of that time. I think of Halloween. So part of it was just selfishly wanting to make a movie in that time, just because the aesthetics are so awesome. But the other part of it is that there are story parts that do affect the way the film plays out. Like at the beginning when Dean is walking, during the credits, and she has a little face off with the Reaper that's just hanging on a tree. If it wasn't Halloween, that moment can't happen. And then there's the moment later with like all of the Reapers in the trees. That wouldn't be able to happen. It wouldn't really make sense. So it is like a textural thing that adds to the story, and just is sort of like there's this thing that is just a very generic Halloween thing, just like a Grim Reaper. It's nothing insane. But when you've got it in a town that doesn't know that they're being haunted by this thing, it just gives it's almost like its reach is far, all over the place. Like the sheriff pulls up to that stop sign, sees the Reaper hanging, because that's just sort of part of, the culture of Halloween. And so it does serve as a reminder for the characters in the film to be like, this is what you're up against. So, I mean, that's kind of like the not as good answer, but the realistically, it's just fun to make a Halloween movie.
That's fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I had read in an interview with In Between Drafts that your son Max, who plays Max in the movies, always performing at home. After Night of the Reaper, is he trying to get you to write more stuff for him?
Yeah, I mean he's actually like a working actor now. Like he booked last year we did Night of the Reaper, and then he had already booked A Christmas Carol at this play downtown. It's like a fully paid 2-month gig, and he was Tiny Tim in it, and so he did that last year, and he's doing it again this year. So it's like November, December, he's basically never in school. He's just doing like tech rehearsals in November, and then December it's showtime. Like he does like 46 shows or something like that in December.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so it's like a whole thing. But no, he's just one of those kids that is just like always bouncing off the walls. Like he just has that energy, and it's trying. Like as a parent, we can either drug him, and some people do that, or you just like you engage in it and you try and like help him channel that energy into something positive. And so yeah, we're like taking meetings with agents for him now and like trying to figure out if there's a path forward, because he's just like a unique kid. He's just got this little it factor, even though he's very small for his age. He just turned 11, but he looks like he's like 7 and 8. So he's kind of like, if you're casting something and you want an 8-year-old, it's great if you can cast an 11-year-old that has that maturity, but can kind of play down.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's cool. Like my wife and I we're starting a script that we're writing just for him, and I don't know if it'll go anywhere, but we think it's a cool idea. But just like giving him something that he can just sort of sink his teeth into, and like for me, I think it's unique because like not every indie filmmaker has a family like this. Like I've got 3 kids, a wife, a home, all that shit. It's fun to be able to just use what I have and put it into a movie, because I can write something for him very cheap and I can just do it. Like I don't need to go to a studio or anything like that. I can just raise the money myself and make the movie and just and do it. And I'm pretty fortunate to be able to do that, because I don't, not everybody can. So it's kind of like it's a cool situation for sure.
So is it like a horror that you guys are writing, or?
Yeah, it's like a really serious Home Alone, essentially, like a home invasion where the kid's at home, and it's dark and like it'd be scary and tense, but it would be fun because it's like it's not like Wet Bandits silly stuff. It's like serious, So it's like if Home Alone was really serious,
so closer to Deadly Games than Home Alone.
Yeah, for sure.
And in the movie, you use a Pat Benatar song. Is Heartbreaker your favorite Pat Benatar song?
No, but it's a good one. I mean, it was one of those things where like, in the script, it just says she turns on MTV, some catchy shit, and then she snoops for cigarette. And that's like it. And so we had a music supervisor on this one, and I've never had that before. And she basically just sent us a list of music that we can afford with our budget, because it's, not a lot. And that song wasn't on there, but there was one. It was Flock of Seagulls' Space Age Love Song. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, it's vibey. It's a little synth wave. Like, it's cool. But then I asked her, I was like, is there any other songs that you haven't sent that can be on there? And then she sent a second list, and it had the Pat Benatar song on it. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, that transforms this whole scene. If we got this song, like, I can turn it into, like, a little music video type of thing. And, like, a girl having fun because she's in a stranger's house and she's in charge, so she feels like emboldened. And then I wrote Summer Howell because we had just cast her, because this all happened like 3 or 4 days before shooting, starting production. And I was just like, hey, we might get this song, like if we do, can you learn some like really shitty 80 dance moves, and we'll just and so she's like sending me videos of her doing all this stuff, and I was just like, this is amazing. And then we finally got clearance like 2 days before we shot. And I was just like, we're doing it. And that's the plan. And so we spent most of that day just shooting kind of like a music video, and like playing the music really loud. And so she could time things to it. And, ultimately it's tough to I came from a music video background, and those shoots take forever because you're playing a 3-minute song, and it's total. So every take takes forever, and then you have to reset and you have to do all this stuff. So like eventually we just ran out of time, but there's so many more shots I wish I could have gotten that we just didn't have the time. But no, that was so fun. It was such a cool time, and just opening like that is so fun.
And you mentioned Summer Howell, who played Emily in the film. Was she somebody you had in mind already based on her previous work?
No, so she auditioned for Dina, and we had like 70 or 80 Dinas audition. And like I did some live reads with some, and like some of the bigger actors won't do a tape, they'll read. And so she had just sent in a tape, and you're kind of like pairing people because we had all these people audition for Emily as well, but I didn't think any of them were quite right. But then I saw hers, and I was just like, man, she looks so young and innocent, and like I really don't want to see her die, so we have to kill her. So
Makes sense.
then yeah, so I had like a call with her, and I was like, hey, I know it's not Dina, it's not the lead, but it is it's super vital for the movie. If you start this movie, you get the first 10 minutes, it's all you. You get this like really cool Drew Barrymore like short film, and then your presence is felt through the rest of the picture because you just kind of keep coming back, whether it's on a tape that the police watch or on the tapes that we see at the end. So it's like, even though you're only going to be shooting for 3 days in this thing, it's going to be awesome because you're going to be part of the DNA of the film always. And so, she kind of went with that. She liked that. And I was able to pair her with Jessica Clement, who had a great read. And I was actually considering her at one time for Emily because she's got those big doe eyes. And it's just like, oh, man, she would be another person that I don't want to see kill. So, which was fun to make her turn the way she does in the film, because it just goes from, she's used to playing the victim. And this time she got to kind of turn the tables a little bit.
And you also had a reference to George Brett in there. Were you a Royals fan or a George Brett fan?
No, my brother wrote that sequence, and it's more just like placing it in time and just showing that Dina's not just a dumb kid. She likes statistics, she likes stats. She's a criminology student, so it was just a little bit of kind of like hidden exposition in the scene. But you've got a kid that likes baseball. She's relating to him on some level. She probably knows a lot more than he does because he's just a little kid, and it's not like this is pre-internet, so how much does he actually know? But yeah, I think it's just more filling out the question mark of when this movie takes place, because everything's very generally 1980s. We couldn't afford any specific year because like all of a sudden you're dealing with anachronisms with props and cars. And we just didn't have the money for that. So it was like, if it's from the 80s, it can go in the film. So it's very just like vaguely 80s. And I'm okay with that. It's just a time and a place, not a specific time or place.
Definitely. And I wanted to jump in here. Brandon, besides Superhost and Night of the Reaper, one of the things I noticed about all of your films is that you tend to stay close to the supernatural as the basis for your films, but this was like the first straight up slasher that you've done. And as a horror fan, was that something that you wanted under your belt to do? Like as a filmmaker, did you say, you know what, like I really wanted to make a slasher film. That's something I've wanted to do. Let's do it. Like I want to add that to my filmography.
Yeah, I mean, Superhost is not supernatural. That was the only other one I've done that's not. Like the next one that's coming out is also supernatural. So, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, my first two films were very similar. Like they were mom and peril, child horror, kind of stuff like that. And I was really worried. I didn't want to become the mom horror guy. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to do something completely different with Superhost. Did it for super cheap. Just like did it, and it was like a great exercise to kind of stretch outside of that and do another thing. And then the Puppet Man was after, and that was very dark and more of like a possession thing. But there's so many genres and subgenres in horror that I appreciate and love. Like my next one's a found footage one, and that's coming out next year. And it's really fun to be able to play and dabble in those things and kind of mix them up and do all these things, because like this movie looks like a slasher, but it's not really. It's got a few different things going on. It's like a police procedural whodunit. It's got the slasher stuff, the House of the Devil, like very atmospheric girl in a house kind of stuff, and then it has like this whole third act that is this entirely new thing, and it doesn't quite neatly fit into one of those subgenres. So yeah, it's more just like there's so many things that I think horror can do really well. I don't necessarily feel the need to fit into just one subgenre. Like I think doing a little bit of a grab bag of it is really fun, especially just to make it. It's just super fun,
Yeah, for sure. And, I just, to go back to what you said a second ago, about, the way that you tend to stick to supernatural, and then you went into your found footage film. And what I wanted to say about that was that, I'm not glazing here when I say this, like I'm not, washing your car, so to speak. I genuinely think that a found footage from you is something that like I and John and other people welcome. And the reason for that is I just watched a movie called House on Eden, and it's a found footage movie, and man, like they all blur together. They fucking suck. Like there's so many of them that are so fucking bad, and it's like you just realize it's like because they don't have a budget and they're the easiest type of movie to make, and they're trying to get out there. But when you have someone like you that I can go back and I can watch several of your movies and then go, oh, now he's doing it. Okay, so this dude actually knows what he's doing. He's not just trying to make something work on a no budget. Like even if you have a small budget, I trust in you enough that you know what you're doing to not just throw together some shitty found footage movie. So I am like genuinely looking forward to seeing your contribution to that subgenre.
Cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's a cool kind of career path to be going down, and being able to just mess around in a genre is hilarious. And yeah, so I mean, going to Body Cam, the one that just came out, like it's a new idea. Like I wouldn't have done it just to do a found footage, like another paranormal investigator thing. But this is something that's rooted in something that I watch a lot. Like I watch a lot of police body cam videos on YouTube and those true crime things that integrate it. And so this one's fully done on police body cams, and it's like two cops investigating a domestic disturbance, and some things go down. There's an accidental shooting, and they're in a situation where they're just like, this is going to look really bad for us. We need to cover it up. And so the movie's about them trying to cover it up and what kind of is uncovered when they're doing that. And it's very, very dark and very fucked up. So
that sounds fucking awesome.
It's cool. So yeah, it's this weekend. It's playing a couple times, once in Boston and once in Colorado Springs. And then, it'll just be playing kind of through October in different places. But then next year it'll be coming out. And I think the gimmick is very strong. Like it's a very cool concept. And whether or not you're cool with the ride that it goes on, because it is not a standard, like it was a brutal movie to make because the budget was super low, but the aspirations for it are crazy high. Like we were shooting so far above our budget, and, it takes the massive swings. And so when you guys see it, I hope you dig it.
I'm sure we will, man. I'm really looking forward to it, like seriously. And, I guess we won't talk about that movie yet, but going back to Night of the Reaper, from a creative and technical standpoint, how was Night of the Reaper different from your other movies? Again, excluding Body Cam, like we'll leave that one out for now. Mm-hmm. But from like Superhost to The Puppet Man to Z to all how was it different? How did you find from a technical standpoint?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was terribly different from like The Puppet Man. The Puppet Man was a good learning experience because all of my films up to that point had a very small cast, like 2 or 3 at a time. But Puppet Man, I kind of had this group that I was dealing with, and it's complicated. And so, I took a lot of the lessons that I learned from that and put it into this. But this was the first time that I was ever like referencing other films with shots. Like there's a shot with Dina on the phone when she's talking to her friend, when she's already babysitting. And it's like a 1-to-1 duplication of a shot from When a Stranger Calls. And it was just fun to kind of sprinkle that in. And there's a few of those things and a few moments that are definitely lifted from other films. And trying to emulate that style and stuff was really fun. But I mean, the biggest challenge technically was just shooting, period, because I've never done 80s before. And like, we didn't have the budget to do 80s. We had to just like brute force it. And that's why we didn't pick a year. We just had to like go on Marketplace and just buy whatever 80s shit and like talk to people that were selling their 80s cars and just being like, would you come out for a couple hours and just be in the background, whatever. And so, just like from a scouting locations and stuff perspective, everything had to be viewed through a different lens because you're like, oh, this is a great location, but, it was built in 2000 or something like that. It's not going to work for the film. So you got to keep looking. And, you go to like old suburban neighborhoods that are all built in the 60s and you're trying to find houses, like a string of houses in a row that doesn't have like some modern giant or, square box house sticking out. And so, a lot of the technical challenges were more just like making sure that the locations and the scenes, they felt right for the time. They might not be 100% accurate, but they feel right. And I think that was like getting that feeling right of just being correct in the 80s. That was definitely the hardest challenge.
Well, that's what I was going to actually ask or add in was, did you find like decorating the house and the clothing and the settings to be a bigger challenge than you expected, or was that something that held you up at all during the process of the film from like concept to execution?
It definitely, it definitely stretched our production design team a lot. Like, there's a lot of houses in the movie. You know, there's Dina's house, there's Hattie's house, there's the opening house, there's the sheriff's house, and most of like the first, I think 5 days of the shoot were the first three houses. Like the opening was the first 3 days, Dina's house was day 4, and then Hattie's house was day 5, and that also included like the walking with the backpack, you know, through suburbia thing. So there was a lot of like pressure on the production design team to dress all these different houses in that period. And it's a lot of work when you don't have a lot of money. And so like they were definitely pushed to their limit. And then once we got to the sheriff's house, which is it's like a fake film house that was built years ago I don't even know what it was built for, but it had last been used in a show on Hulu called Under the Banner of Heaven. And that's an 80s show, and they dressed it and they just walked away with it, period, dressed. So it was ready to go, but we did make it our own. Like we changed, you know, the furniture out, we put the TV in, we did new drapes and stuff like that. We did do a lot of work on it, but it was a little bit later in the shoot, so they could just they were done with all those other houses and they were just focusing on that. And, you know, it'd even be a situation where like, okay, we're only shooting in the living room today. So they'd be upstairs, like getting Max's room ready for the next day. And it's just like, it was just kind of like super all hands on deck to do it. And with the clothes, you know, we had a 3-person wardrobe team, and they were just, you know, they were pros. They go vintage thrift shopping and stuff like that, and found a lot of really cool period accurate stuff that we were able to use. But yeah, I don't think it was too big of an issue for them. It's just, you know, I think all those clothes are pretty popular now, so it's a little bit easier to find.
No, I get that. That all makes sense, you know. And I guess with something like that, you really just have to kind of have a nice, organized plan of what to do on what day. That way, everything flows smoothly. Yeah. I could see it all being chaos if it steers out of control, you know. But it seems like you have everything under control. And you know what I like about
it's good.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it looks like it, but it's total chaos. Yeah.
Well, what's funny to me about Night of the Reaper is that it plays like a straight up slasher. And I thought watching it, I'm like, this is pretty good, you know, but it's just a straight up slasher, you know, and but it's almost too cut and dry to be a Brandon Christensen movie. And I was right, you know, you completely do what you do, and you turned expectations like a magician distracting you before his big reveal.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, that was the whole point. Like we knew if I just made another House of the Devil, it wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't have its own identity. So we wanted to kind of lean on that and allow the audience to feel like they knew where it was going and have that sense of comfort and be like, oh yeah, I love this vibe, I like this stuff. And then we wanted to kind of like rip the you know, the tablecloth from the table and just be like, this whole thing, you know, we're just upending the tea table, and you're going to be like so caught off guard, hopefully, that you're kind of put on edge for the rest of the film, because you know, to that point, you're like, I get it. There's going to be creepy noises. Oh, a door opened. You know, you get it. But then when that happens, it's like, oh, wait, shit, I don't get it. I'm uncomfortable now, because I do think that, you know, even with horror movies, like people like rewatching the same stuff because it's comfortable. Like you turn on Halloween for the 300th time and you're just like, I know every scene, I know every beat. And I like that. I like knowing what's going to happen, because it's just very comfortable. It's like why everybody watches The Office over and over and over, because it's comfortable and it's cozy. Yeah, exactly. And so if you give them something that looks safe and they think that they're gonna get like lulled into a sense of security, and then if you rip that away, they're all of a sudden just like, whoa, wait a minute. And you know, not everybody likes that, because I've seen, you know, reviews it's pretty divisive. Some people hate what happens there, and some people really dig it, and it's cool. I like that. I would prefer that to, you know, everybody just collectively shrugging, which has happened. So it's, you know, it's cool to see kind of the highs and lows of it all and be like, okay, you know, this works for some, but not for everybody. And it's interesting, at least. It gives it its own identity.
Yeah, and, actually, I've seen you discussing the film on Reddit. Actually, one of your responses at first, I didn't even know it was you until I read the next comment, and somebody was like, oh shit, straight from the source himself. But what do you think are some of the major misconceptions that Like, just not on Reddit, but just online in general with the film.
I think that the major one for me is just that it's not set up. Like, if you rewatch the movie a second time and you're paying attention, like, the whole thing is different. Like, when I watch it, I can't experience it the way the first time viewer is, because we wrote it, I directed it, like I was part of the construction of everything. So I do appreciate that some people might not get it. Like, they'll be like, what the hell? That's way out of left field. But if you watch it, like, pretty much every scene up until Dina goes babysitting is setting up for that payoff. She goes to get the drugs, and when she leaves with the 2 cups of coffee, it cuts to a shot at her back, and there's no backpack anymore. And there's even like a piece of music, and it's like ding, and it's like telling you, hey, there's no backpack here. And then, like, when she's talking to the 3 guys, or the 2 guys outside the van, and the one guy walks away and he's like, hey, are we good? And she says, yeah, we're good. When you watch it, you're just like, oh, they must have some relationship history. But if you watch it again, it's like, oh no, they're talking about their plan and they're just being cute about it. And like talking to the pharmacist, he says that the stomach doesn't agree, with the tannins in the medication and the coffee mix. So she's, giving her friend that, and it makes her sick. And, it's kind of like every scene has something. Like, she's telling her dad about how she's working with nitrocellulose for making explosive chemicals and stuff like that. And, like, at first it just sounds like dumb whatever, just filling us in on this kid. But it is, it is kind of setting up for later that, and so there's all these things that were being put in place, like, all the dogs in the film, like, they're all just roadkill that she's repurposing because that's what she does. And so I think that saying it's cheating or something like that, I don't think that's a fair way to put it, because if you do watch it with the blinders off and you see, because you've seen it, it is a totally different movie the second time. You're just like, oh shit, she's just 100% on a mission right now, and she's just doing the things to set up for that night. And, you're not supposed to get it the first time, but I don't think it's cheating. I think it's just hiding in plain sight the whole time.
And the ending kind of felt a little Dark Knight-ish. Well, was that on purpose?
No. So I think the big part of that is because of the score that David Arquez, he was one of the 3 people that did the score on the movie. He just sent me that, and I was like, man, this doesn't feel like the music in any other movie, a part of the movie. Like, it's all synth and stuff like that. But that hits with, like, this weird superhero, like they're just call to action for these 2 characters. And it was just like, so I was just like, I got chills listening to it. I was like, oh my God, this makes the movie feel so much more important than it actually is, that I was just like, fuck yeah, let's go with that. Like, that's so cool. And, yeah, it's definitely, you've got it's like, whatever, Gordon, when he's just like giving some sort of monologue thing. And it is very similar. I didn't personally see the Dark Knight reference until after it had been pointed out. But no, I think it's hilarious. I think it's super cool that it has this like super serious plan that is gonna, keep this lie going between these 2 characters to kind of allow them to maintain this secret. I think it's cool that it gets this little moment of recognition in the speech and the music, and it all just comes together for this really cool moment. But yeah, no, once you hear it, you can't unhear that comparison at all.
Yeah. I mean, like, as soon as it was happening, I was like, this feels like, I turned to my wife. I was like, this reminds me of Gordon at the end of Dark Knight, where he's just laying out everything that's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, I didn't think about it until after the fact, but it is pretty funny.
And yeah, we just wanted to thank you again for joining us today to talk about Night of the Reaper. And everybody should make sure to go check it out on Shudder, and hopefully we'll talk to you again here in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. It's great. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brandon. Good talking to you.
Yeah, man.
Thanks to all the horror hounds and stoners out there for tuning in. And thank you again to Brandon Christensen for joining us today. Make sure to tune in next week. We're going to have a 30th anniversary episode for Leprechaun 3, and we'll be joined by director Brian Trenchard Smith, and Fazio himself, John DeMita, is joining us as well. Make sure to follow us online, High on Horror 420 on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Make sure to join our Discord. You can find that by finding our link tree. If you just Google Linktree High on Horror, you'll find us. And you can click on there and join the link and get into our Discord. We do not have an OnlyFans, despite what Drew says. So you won't find that in the link tree. But the link tree has links to all of our socials. You can email us highonhorror420@gmail.com for your PPA questions. And
Will Warwick Davis be on our episode next week?
he may or may not be on the episode.
Caroline Williams won't be.
Caroline
Tell you that
Williams
much.
will not. But yeah, so I guess he may not. I would lean towards be on the episode.
So he and Caroline Williams will not be on the episode.
Correct.
Correct. Okay.
Correct. Anyway, so yeah, so it'll just be Brian and John Tamina.
Good enough.
Anyway, that'll about wrap her up. Catch you later.
And by the way, about the OnlyFans thing, if you see, anybody's feet getting milk poured on them, that's John. Stay spooky, everybody.
Somebody cut this man's plate.